My name is Dr. Felucia. I'm a licensed psychologist, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the relationship between spiritual abuse and OCD. Sometimes I've been asked this question about what causes OCD in general, and then also specifically the relationship between spiritual abuse and OCD. And sometimes people who have experienced both spiritual abuse and OCD wonder if the spiritual abusive situation that they were in caused the OCD. Now, with OCD, there are several factors that can contribute to the presentation of OCD symptoms, but right now, scientists are not sure exactly what causes OCD. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the similarities between OCD and spiritual abuse, and specifically how spiritually abusive environments can relate to OCD. And so when we think about people who have undergone spiritual abuse, they're in environments that thrive on fear and uncertainty and strict control. While that might not be obvious at first, it ends up coming out later the more people are in these spiritually abusive situations and realize that what they're going through is not right. Okay, so if we look at spiritual abuse, and I have some other videos in my playlist about spiritual abuse, you'll find that in these types of environments, the people who are inflicting the spiritual abuse depend on the person who is being abused to constantly be in fear, and they really thrive on that uncertainty that the person is experiencing. And so when someone has been in an experience like that, a lot of times they can, they're obviously going to feel anxiety, but sometimes that anxiety can turn into rituals and compulsions to help them deal with the kinds of confusing challenges that they're going through in that environment. So let me explain that a little bit further. With OCD, people who are experiencing OCD symptoms are trying to achieve control through certainty. And so when you think about the way OCD works, somebody has an obsessive thought, which is causing them a lot of discomfort. And then they go through some kind of ritual, a compulsion to help alleviate or neutralize that anxiety. And so that can come from different sources, but oftentimes when people are in spiritually abusive situations, they are not certain about a lot of things. And that makes sense. Spirituality in and of itself is a pretty abstract concept. You can't measure how much faith somebody has or how much sin somebody has or how righteous somebody is. And so for somebody who may be prone to experiencing OCD or other types of anxiety, this environment, a spiritually abusive environment, can trigger either OCD symptoms that were already there that may be dormant or create new ones for them. I've worked with individuals before who have been in, very strict religious environments, even cults where they end up developing OCD symptoms years later. And with OCD, or actually with spiritually abusive environments, there tend to be very strict hierarchies, strict rules, very rigid ways of thinking. And so for somebody who has challenges with anxiety or who may be predisposed to experiencing OCD, that can cause them to seek relief and seek certainty through obsessions and compulsions. And so that is, a brief overview of the relationship between spiritual abuse and OCD. Spiritual abuse may not cause OCD, but somebody who's come from a traumatic, spiritually abusive environment may be more likely to develop symptoms. And again, that's because spirituality in and of itself is abstract, like I already mentioned. And then also spiritually abusive environments thrive on strict hierarchies and strict methods of controlling people. And people who have left those environments can still internalize that anxiety, have this quest for control through certainty. And again, as human beings, we like being in control. We like certainty. However, with OCD, that desire can go overboard to the point where it's causing harm to somebody. And so that's why you can see a relationship between both. The most important thing when you go through treatment for OCD is to understand that even though you want certainty, you want control, that's never going to be completely possible. And so you have to learn to be more comfortable with being uncertain and having less control than you desire or that you think. And so I hope this answers that question. There's, obviously more to this. And if you'd like to learn more about this, book a free 10-minute consultation on my website, and also put some comments in the comments section about other videos or other topics you would like to hear. May you have a peaceful and wonderful day. Bye-bye.